good practice too. Got a few of the situations in that we wanted to. Some red zone, 2-point plays went in. We didn't practice them today, but they're in. And we'll do a little bit more of that tomorrow. Really excited for tomorrow for a couple of reasons. Certainly the idea that we get to put shoulder pads on. I think that's really when you start to figure out who are the younger players in your program that may have a chance to help you this year. Everybody can look pretty good when you run around in just shorts. And also the fact that we got an open practice. We did that last year and we wanted to bring it back again this year. That's going to be exciting for us. And I think the players enjoy it. I think the fans enjoy it. I think it's good for our program, and I think it's good for the university and the community alike. Questions?
Did you pick up where you left off in terms of the tempo and the tenor of this practice?
Well, I remember last year, today was the first day that we lifted and practiced the same day, and we had quite a few more. We had 12 players at one point or another had to leave the practice for cramping last year. And today we reduced it to 2. So I think our players, I told them that this morning, and I think our players did a better job of preparing for the practice and hydrating and taking care of their bodies, and I was really proud of them. I did think we practiced at a better tempo today. I think the temperature probably helped us as well. It wasn't quite as hot and humid as it was yesterday, but I was pleased with the tempo.
Did anybody catch your eye out there today?
I think that some of the guys in the secondary have done a nice job so far filling in. A guy like Luke Toller, who has played a lot of football in Division I, just not at Rutgers. He looks like somebody who has done that, and certainly he's here, and we wanted him here because we think he can help us this year. And tomorrow's really when he'll start the process of figuring out where he fits in our depth chart.
What have you seen from Steve Longa and how he's acclimating?
I like the fact that so far I haven't noticed him. Now I don't mean that we're not tackling, so you wouldn't notice him in that sense, but I haven't noticed Coach Cohen having to adjust things differently for him or help him in any way. He's really been able to go out there and set the defense and run the defense and fit in where he needs to. And that's the most important thing now. Now tomorrow, with the pads on, we'll also bring the physicality, it'll bring the fits, it'll bring everything else that a middle linebacker needs to be for us.
Kyle, has leadership already taken over on this team, or is it something that's developing through camp? Because you lost, especially on defense, where you lost so much.
I don't think it ever stops. I think sometimes when you lose as many players on as many strong personalities on defense as we did last year, there can be a little bit of a void. But I think every vacuum gets taken up by somebody, and I see it. I already see guys like Jamal and Jamil Morrell seizing that, but I've seen that for a couple months now, and Marcus Thompson has done an excellent job, and Kevin Snyder has done an excellent job, Lorenzo Waters. All the established players on defense, I feel like, have taken a role in leading that group.
Have you seen their personalities come through more then, or is it just, when you say active role, what kind of things?
I think you hear them more. I think they're more verbal. That's really, I think, where it comes out.
Kyle, I know you said yesterday it's hard to evaluate the defensive guys without pads on, but Maluski's story just to be back out here after 21 months, what kind of inspiration is that for his teammates? And is that the kind of thing you hear guys, other guys in the training room when they're working to get back? Do they talk about Maluski and, hey, this guy's done this?
I don't hear him talking about him per se in that light, and I don't know that David would want them to. I think David wants to have a role in this football team and contribute, and he loves football as much as anybody else on our team. And even when he wasn't able to play, he'd be in the meeting rooms, he'd be helping other players prepare, and that builds a lot of respect from your teammates when you do that, when you continue to help the team win, even when you can't physically go out there on the field. I know the team is excited about having him back.
Can Miles Schuler fill multiple roles on the team just with his kind of unique skill set?
I don't know that yet. I think he has the ability to change the game. I think Miles has elite level speed that very few players in college football have. And if he can play on a consistent basis, at any moment in the game, he can really affect the game. Now, whether he has a very specific role or multiple roles, I think that happens over the course of training camp.
Is there a point during camp when you'll consider tinkering with some position changes, or when you don't want to do that anymore?
I would prefer to do all of that by early the second week. We get past the first scrimmage. If we feel we've got a void or a need somewhere and we have to do it, we'd like to do it then. The closer you get to the second scrimmage, I think the closer you want to have your game day depth set.
Didn't see Max out there. Is everything all right with him?
Everything's okay with Max. We're still evaluating his shoulder, and we feel like he'll be fine.
Kyle, in terms of Deering, what have you seen out of him at safety? I know 2 days, no pads and everything, but anything?
I think similar to Longa, I have not heard the coaches have to really adjust what he's done mentally so far. So I feel good that he really has a great idea of how he fits into the defense. And then tomorrow with the pads on, then we'll see the ability to make plays. And I have no doubt in my mind that Jeremy's going to make some plays for us.
Talked about this offensive line being tested by what you think is a very good defensive line. What have you seen how they held up after these 2 practices? I know no pads or anything.
Yeah, it'd be hard to comment.
Yeah.
I think after a couple padded practices, we'll really know. And the way the NCAA has the rules set up, you can't even wear what we call spider pads. You're just out there with helmets on, so it's almost a completely different game once you put the pads on. I think we'll get a little bit of a feel for that tomorrow for sure. I think you'll see the emotional level of the team will rise, and they'll be excited to have the shoulder pads on as well.
Without Croft in there, what does the tight end position look like now before he comes in? How's that shaping up?
Well, Paul Carazola is right there at the top of that depth chart, but I think everything below that is up for battle. And that battle's going to go on for a little bit. I don't know that one will be settled necessarily by the first scrimmage.
With Brandon Coleman, at what point in camp do you see him being 100%, not having to leave practice early or anything like that?
I feel very strongly he'll be 100% by the first game. How much in front of that first game, I don't know that for sure. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.